Hello, my name's Harvey Parker. I'm the art director on F1 Race Stars, and you're watching Platform 32.
F1 Race Stars, the upcoming family-friendly Formula 1 meets karting mashup from Codemasters Racing, has a very distinctive visual style, what with all the big-headed, tiny-bodied representations of real-life race drivers and cartoony caricatures of famous racing locations. As someone who is fascinated by the production process of video games, I decided to quiz Harvey Parker, the game's art director, to find out what the thinking and inspiration was behind this unique style of branding.
Well, early on I wanted the ambition of the game to be F1 for all, and for it to be high-end family entertainment. And I think over the last 10-15 years, Pixar, DreamWorks, Disney have created a genre which is yet to have a name, but they've created a genre that's instantly recognisable as high-end family entertainment. You see one of those movie posters from 50 yards down the road, and you instantly know that that's something that the whole family is going to enjoy. And I wanted the similar appeal for F1 Race Stars. I think Formula 1, being the pinnacle of motorsport, kind of deserves that treatment, and that's why we went for that look.
Oh yeah! Because F1 Race Stars is aimed primarily at kids and families, how do you think this art style will help to sell the game?
There's a toy-like nature to the way that we've created the assets for Race Stars, and that comes through that ambition of kind of what would Pixar do, what would DreamWorks do, and it's you get a real good sense of what they would do with the concept art when they're in their pre-production period that they produce. So we went about a pre-production on our game very much like the studios do. So I told the artists to forget about the fact they're making a video game and think about rebranding F1, targeting children and families. And through that ambition, we looked at the pillars of their projects, and you get a real good idea as to what they are when you look at their concept art. And we kind of mimicked that approach and created similar pillars for our game. It's all about charm, it's about delight, it's about creating products, like toy-like products with our assets, and yeah, it just so happens we're making a video game as the end result. So through that approach we were able to create a style that we then applied the F1 tropes and the F1 personality to, rather than just taking F1 and kind of caricaturing it, which can often end up as something that's maybe appealing to those that know the sport, put a smile on your face, or and they can often be a little bit cruel too, caricatures. So we wanted to avoid that. We wanted to create a style that we could then apply F1 and the likenesses to. And I think that approach has led to the success of the art style of the game, really.
It's the cute character designs that really catch the eye in F1 Race Stars, but their angular faces look quite different to the characters Pixar or Disney usually knock out. Harvey, you and your team came up with the term automated folds to describe the technique you used to create this look. Can you explain what that means and how you came up with it?
I think it was important too, because the characters are there and they're seen with their cars for the majority of the time, that they work together. I wanted the almost to be like a horse and rider sort of approach, where the cars are obviously they're animated in our game. There's a truth in material. The mantra that John Lasseter set up all those years ago with Pixar: if something's metal, it bends in a certain way, and you understand that. And rubber flexes in a different way, and similarly, the drivers are going to move in a certain way, and the cars too. But I wanted them there to be a synergy between the two. So what we did in our characterization was develop this thing that we called the automotive fold, where say like a cheekbone bends to a certain point and then it will fold like metal does, and that's something that you see a lot on car concepts. You wouldn't necessarily see it on character concept art, but in taking that approach, it kind of looks like it's been carved from clay. The two complement each other well, and yeah, you'll notice the folds on the drivers' suits and their faces have got this automotive fold, and it's the sleek lines that you expect from a racing car are transposed onto them as well. And I think that's something that again is it's been quite a good marriage between the two there.
The tracks are also a big character in the game, and you used another film production technique to help design them. Please do tell all.
It's coming back to that, you know, the questions we were asking, what would DreamWorks do, what would Pixar do? It's like, well, they'd storyboard every element of the films that they're producing, and we should do the same for our games. So we employed a professional storyboard artist to sit down with our very talented level designers, and with the brainstorming of ideas, he was able to very quickly and rapidly visualize those ideas, and we were immediately shown anything that was going to particularly work well, or maybe problematic, or those things that actually we should scrap. So the iterative cycle of that was extremely fast, as you can imagine. So we were able to burn through loads of ideas very quickly, and that was a great tool in that early concepting period. You know, we kind of held our nerve as a team, and we had quite a long pre-production period, but yeah, it paid dividends. I think it's something that the film industry do often extremely successfully, and we're able to kind of mimic that process, and yeah, I think we're pleased with the results.
Thanks for the insights, Harvey. It's great to see developers and video game artists taking cues from the big movie companies in order to evolve the development of our favourite video games. The calculating way everything seems to have been made so as to appeal to the largest type of family audience and possibly create spin-offs in the future did shine a light on the product side of game development, and how each section of a game is carefully tailored to hopefully bring in as much moolah as possible. But making games is a business, of course, and these processes have to happen or games would hardly be made at all. As long as the gameplay element is always the most important aspect of the development cycle, as long as fun doesn't take a back seat, then in my mind there'll still be games and not products at all, and F1 Race Stars thankfully seems to have fun by the bucket load. Make sure you subscribe to Platform 32 because there's many more videos on the way, including reviews, features and live streams. See ya!